You get a prop.
You know, like a fancy little Mikey.
Yeah.
Let's go. A little stand.
Yeah.
So, guys,
Don't shoot us.
I've shot everyone.
So what can you tease about season 2? At first, you and your character and Cole, they kind of broke up for a while, and now they're kind of back together and on the same side. Where's it going to go?
I found another date.
Oh,
Found another date to the prom. Kick Cole to the curb. No, I think we're gonna, get back together. I think it'll be a little bit more back to like kind of like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You know what I mean? And might be going back in time. You know what I mean? But still underneath it, there's that tension and that distrust. So, yeah.
When did you find out in the script about you going back in time and kind of switching spots? I know as a fan watching the show, it was kind of like a holy shit moment. So
Yeah.
How did you feel when you got that part?
I knew before I even signed on because Terry was pitching the project over the phone, and he's like, "You're not in the pilot." He goes, "But you're just wetting everyone's beak." And then all of a sudden, this happens with your son, and then the whole arc. So before I even did anything, shot one frame, I knew that was going to happen, that I was going to go back in time. I knew I was going to speak Japanese prison. I knew everything from before I even shot the pilot. So that was the hook. The same way you were like, "Oh, that's cool," it's the same way I thought about the same thing. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." You know what I mean? But what was great was I get to kind of like betray him. I like that. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody wants to be the best friend. Like, do I look like I want to be the best friend? But you know what I mean? Like, I don't look like that guy, right? Do you know what I mean? So that's was my hook for me. Yeah.
How have you found the fan reaction has been to your character?
You know what's I'd say what's surprising? They're like, "Oh, you betrayed. You betrayed." I'm like, "Betrayed? Like, I'm trying to save my son." But think about it. Like, it's really like I'm shocked. I really am shocked by it. And that, Cole's just really trying to get a date. I mean, I'm belittling it a little. But you know what I mean? Like, it's lust. I mean, really. I mean, like, he just met her and, like, what, he's in love with her? Love at first sight? I mean, it's, for me, I'm fighting for something that's more tangible. She doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. So it's just, those fucking people don't know what they're talking about. That's what
So you were great in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Are you at least, do you at least feel a little guilty about helping mankind get crushed by the apes?
Okay, see, this is the same thing now. Listen, you're walking through a forest, right? The ape virus, the simian flu, killed off 99% of the population, right? Now, you're walking through the forest, right? You haven't seen an ape in 10 years, and all of a sudden there's these two apes, and they're walking, and they're talking, and they got a spear. You don't shoot one of them? How are you a bad person? You don't shoot one. What? You shoot the fucker in the leg? You know what I mean? And then run? You can't run a posse of monkeys, dude. You gotta kill them.
You know this is a recurring theme, right? Because you do the same thing.
It is.
And you know what? You make very valid arguments for these things.
Okay, the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my fault. I'll tell you why the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my fault. Because my daughter loves Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I didn't want to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the character was very similar to the Planet of the Apes. So I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing the same fucking guy, like over and over. But my daughter loved. So, because in actuality, if we take Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I'm always a good guy.
I wanted to ask
I'm always a good guy.
the dog question, but I didn't want to throw it out there because I know I wouldn't be the person.
Listen, man. You have, if you're walking out, you got a bottle in your hand, you're gonna crack that monkey over the head and run, dude. Seriously, for real.
You shot the hell out of that ape.
I shoot his ass again. For real.
That's what's up.
To bring it back here, I mean, I guess it ties it all in here.
Yeah.
Your character is great because almost every character on the show is great. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said you're trying to save your son.
Yeah, sure.
You have a valid reason. I think what makes your character so great is you. Forgetting the dumb fans.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you kind of feel your motivation for going back. I mean, going back in time, you being in the prison.
Yeah.
Like, it's how hard is it to kind of make that transition from being the best friend to kind of doing that,
Yeah.
and still trying not to go too far to being a villain? Like, you were very sympathetic about that.
Yeah, you know, I kind of like always knew what I was gonna do when I went back. When I did the back and when I go back to the prison and everything, I knew how he was gonna be visually in my head, a little bit more stoic. So to see the big transformation, also to see how time traveling affects people emotionally, because obviously if we were to transport you back to 1960, it's got to have like a physiological effect on your body and on your mind. You know what I mean? And so to see that, and then also being in prison for like 15 years, which he is, you know, mentally it has an effect on him. So for me, he was a little bit more unstable. And so, you know, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was great.
Cool. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Cool.